All right. Hello, hello. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? Hey, y'all. Hey. Okay, we're going to talk about these housewives of Potomac, and we're also going to be covering Martha's Vineyard. We're going to have a chat. I invite you to join me in the comments section. I'm going to run my intro, and we're going to be right back to discuss this, you guys. Are y'all ready to have this conversation? Let's talk about it right here at the Juice Radio and Talk Show. I'll be right back.
Welcome to the Juice Radio Talk Show. 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 Reality TV, church reviews. Let's talk happy love and marriage lifestyle. Come and talk with us. Come and share with us. Come and laugh with us. Come on and pray with us.
Regina Cole is a special guest. You should be following your lead. Bless. Subscribe on YouTube. Listen on podcast. We live on IG and Facebook. This episode is sponsored by Truth and Triumph Ministries.
All right. Hello, everybody. Hey, Jonathan.
Hey, Regina.
Look at you, looking all nice in your little shirt. You better come on through, Jonathan.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It is a long sleeve, so I'm a little warm, but I got my fan on high, so hopefully we'll get through this thing, girl.
Listen, I feel you. I feel you. You know, I remember I have a friend in Florida, and she's so cute. She was wearing these high heels, and her mom told her, "Why don't you take those heels off?" And she was like, "No, I cannot. Pain for beauty. Pain for beauty."
Beauty. That is it, honey. That is it. Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness. Well, we like to say hello to all of you that are joining us today. Remember, this is a fun channel over here at the Juice Radio and Talk Show. We're not trying to be shady or messy. We're just trying to have a fun conversation about these reality shows that we review. And we invite you to join us in the conversations as well. I want to say hello to Dustin. Thank you for being here, Dustin. We're going to see you
Dustin.
shortly. We're going to see you shortly
Yes.
coming up here as we chat about the 90 Day Fiancé. Listen, that show right there, there's a lot. All right, we're going to see Dustin back over here at 7:30. Hello, Pamela. How you doing
Hey,
today?
Pamela.
Thank you for being here. Hey, Sebastian.
Hey, Sebastian.
How you doing? Listen, I love me some Sebastian. He is hilarious. Jonathan, these two shows that we're going to be recapping, Martha's Vineyard and the reunion for Real Housewives of Potomac. I don't even know how I'm gonna really start. What's your start on this, Jonathan? I'm conflicted a little bit, but go ahead.
I understand. I'd much rather start with Housewives of Potomac because I don't have nearly as much to say as I do about Summer House, Martha's Vineyard. So I'd love to start with Housewives of Potomac if you don't mind.
Yes, let's go ahead and let's do that. Now, I want to start this by saying Andy started this show off, and Andy was showing everybody he was the boss. He was not playing.
Okay.
Andy came through and he was letting y'all all know who is in charge by this one statement he made. And I want to read it verbatim. Can we do that, Jonathan?
Go on ahead, Regina. Do your thing.
Andy said, as a fan, it was somewhat frustrating to watch this season because the show, is about finding common ground and taking ownership of actions as they affect others. What Andy was doing with that little statement, he was laying the ground rule. He was like, this is why we have this show. So for those of you who's sitting on this couch who don't realize why we having this show, he was basically telling y'all, this is what we going to be discussing. And if y'all didn't know, check yourself. Exactly. He came bold with that statement. And then he followed by saying, and he said, are any of you willing to say now that you feel prepared to do that tonight? Andy was like,
okay, I need your buy-in. As Yanga would say, I need your buy-in. Are you in, girls? Okay. I think Andy shared a sentiment that a majority of the fans of Housewives of Potomac have been feeling because Housewives of Potomac has become impalpable for the most part. Me, I can't really enjoy this show because there's so much bickering. There's so much contention, and I can't get with it.
Yes. Now, you guys, okay, Jonathan, you were going in and out. I hope it clears up. It may be the Wi-Fi over here. But Mamir is here. Hey, Mamir, he say hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be catching this live. Listen, this is gonna be good. Okay, all right, Jonathan, let's try it again. I think you're good now. So, like you were saying, Andy is like, listen, Andy probably is like, I've been taking so much heat with all this mess, and Andy was probably letting them know, listen, today is what we're gonna be discussing. This is going to be the topic. And I'm glad that he set that straight, because he was like, listen, he says basically this part, finding common ground. He said that for a reason, because the women have been fighting so much, bickering with each other, not wanting to settle and resolve disputes. And that's why I think he put those words in there, finding common ground. He said, and taking ownership of actions. So he's letting them know basically, this is what we're going to do today. We're going to try and have a way where we can find a common ground and take ownership for the actions that affect others. And he's right. And he started trying to do that. But Andy forgets he's dealing with grown kids. I'd say grown kids. They grown adults, but they act like grown kids.
Exactly.
They are grown.
Right,
and
exactly.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Jonathan. Hey, Michelle.
Yeah, I'm going to go out and come back in.
Okay, great.
I'm going to go out and come back in.
Yes. And so Andy is like, listen, he's saying, none of you are without exemption to what he is saying. And y'all let me know in the chats if y'all understand that as well, as what Andy was saying. Andy, I believe. Hey, Michelle, how you doing, girl? Thank you for being here. Hey, Lady Virgo, thank you for being here as well. Appreciate you. Andy is basically saying, listen, we need to find a way that we can get over these hurdles and fights and arguments and disagreements and continue to go on. And remember, you guys, this reunion was filmed right before Robin did her exit and Candace did her exit. So I think Andy was trying to get the ladies in a place where they would understand. Andy was probably allegedly saying, I'm going to be making decisions after this reunion. After this reunion airs, I'm going to need to make some management decisions. So I think he was trying to get the ladies all together on that. And I'm not sure if they got it all together. Now, Karen came out and Karen was basically saying, yeah, I understand. Karen understood the rules. I don't know if the rest of the ladies understood the rules. Well, they go and they start having these conversations about the swallow question, about Robin and Juan. Hey, you're back, Jonathan. Thank you. They started by talking about these women. Robin talking about she swallows. Ugh. And I'm like, why? Why do we have to do that? Why do we have to start there? That to me is so disgusting. But that's where they started. And the ladies did chuckle a little bit and they were able to laugh it off and say, hey, we do get along when it comes to some of this sexual stuff and stuff like that. So they continue to have that conversation. I want to know from y'all in the chats. To me, that is, I'm gonna have to be like the other ladies that said, no, we don't do that. Because that was so grotesque. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that statement. I'm going to be very limited on that because I don't know. But Karen then had the conversation about her dreams. Y'all know the dreams that's not dry, but the other dreams. Karen, when they were asking Karen questions about alleged affairs, alleged relationships, and all this other stuff, Karen, I don't know. I think Karen was trying to be funny, but it did not come off funny. Thanks, Jonathan. You're back. It did not come off as funny. It came off as messy.
Okay.
Right, Sebastian said, Robin's a good wife if she swallows. She is good. That's why Juan don't want to let her go. Juan is like, ooh, I cannot. Jonathan, what do you think about the whole swallow conversation?
But I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily the place to have that conversation on national television. That's something that I would keep to myself personally. I don't know if I would share that with the entire world. But what I did enjoy was Andy saying, well, I mean, Juan's not here. I know he didn't have a basketball game. So, what's the excuse? You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was hilarious.
Because remember, they were saying
it is what it is, but that was very distasteful.
But they were saying when he brought that comment up, Andy was basically saying, okay, does Juan really support you? Has he really been very supportive of you, Robin? And listen, Andy was baiting her. He knew because he was like, okay, Juan is not here. So if Juan is not here, then why isn't he here? So I believe that's the reason why he brought that up. He knew that
Right.
Juan wasn't there, and he wanted to try and bait her. And he was right. Juan should have been there. He should have been supporting her. But Juan don't want to take the heat. Now I thought it was real interesting how they asked Ashley, because Ashley said Michael didn't want to come and take the heat on some other things, but when it came to his allegations, he did show up. So,
Right.
I don't think Juan really supports Robin the way he really should. I think Juan does things and Juan don't want to face the other people. He didn't even want Robin talking about these things that was going on. I mean, what's your thoughts? You have a delay, Jonathan. You there?
It doesn't surprise me that Juan is not in the building. Okay, I'm going to switch to my phone and come back. Okay, I'm sorry about this.
No, you're okay. You're okay. We know the Wi-Fi X up. Lady Virgo says she's saying hello to everyone. Thank you, girl. Let me get these comments while Jonathan goes out and come back in. Sebastian said that's gross, but she really must love Juan to do that, right? That is disgusting to me. I mean, and then the other part was Ashley. Ashley said, well, I don't swallow, but I hold it until he falls asleep. What? Ashley, that's even worse, because that's just sitting in your mouth. Ugh. Oh my God, my stomach. Oh my God. Just to be holding that in your mouth until he fall asleep. And then she's talking about, oh, if you do it really good, he falls asleep in a minute. What if he don't, Ashley? Oh, I cannot. Y'all, let me get these comments. I'm like Lady Virgo, the vomit. I cannot. That is the most disgusting. Hold it in your mouth. And then Giselle is like, oh, just, put it in your hand. And y'all, I'm a married woman too. And I'm like Jonathan said, some things should not even be spoken of. But if you got to speak of it, okay, so Michelle said some things just need to be kept to themselves. Exactly. Everything ain't for TV. And Michelle said, exactly, Regina. That's why Juan can't let her go. He don't want to let her go because ain't nobody else probably gonna swallow. Y'all, I'm not laughing at TD Jakes, but y'all should put that emoji up with Robin and say, have you been swallowed? You should put that up with Robin. And y'all, let me stop. I need Jonathan back to get me to get together. So Mamir, Jojo, she said, you're so classy. My family all just agreed. Thank you. I will let him know. And Lady Virgo says, Robin should be the last person swallowing anything for that roommate of hers. Ooh, not the roommate. You called the man the roommate? Ooh, listen, first of all, I don't know if I would be putting my mouth on anything that these ladies are alleging was with other people. That's first thing. We just getting out of this pandemic, and no, some things, mouthwash, Listerine, all that stuff, just ain't gonna cover. So don't do that. Let me get off this so I can get on back over talking to this story. Let me finish y'all comments. Sebastian said there's research that says swallowing gives endorphins. I don't want them, Sebastian. I don't want no endorphin. I don't want it. Give me a pill or something for it. Let me go to the local drugstore and get a prescription for something. I do not want that. No. Sebastian, how about this? You can have mine. I will put it in a mail and just mail it to you if you want it. I don't want that. Sebastian said men fall asleep quickly after that. Child, I don't know. Michelle said, I can see Ashley doing that. LOL. Child. Sebastian said Michael will because of his age. Ooh. Y'all are funny. Mamir said, what Ashley said is what really got me. Who does that? I am ancient and never heard such a thing. That's what I'm saying. Okay, let me get it. Oh, for those of you who are looking for Erin, she's not feeling well tonight also. She is out. She's not feeling well. And so she won't be here tonight, okay? But she'll be back probably later on in the week with some of our other shows. Amir said, what Ashley said is what really got me. What was, who does that? I am ancient and never heard such a thing. Thank you, Mamir. Who does that? You just sit there and somebody please get Ashley a little side of peppermint to put on her nightstand. because that's disgusting. Michelle said, well, Juan is just a roommate to Robin, and she knows it. You know what? I used to feel bad for Robin, but now I don't, because Robin just continues to accept to be on that wheel like the little mouse is on. She just continues to accept that. And if she continues to accept that, then why am I going to try and get Robin off the wheel? I'm going to just leave her on there and let her go round and round and round until she get tired of being on that wheel. Hey, Jonathan.
Hey, I'm sorry about that, but I'm back. I'm back. Can you hear me? Am I good?
Oh, yes, we can hear you, clear view and everything. Okay, I hear it. So, Lady Virgo said, Regina, you got me over here in tears with your facial expressions. Are you going to be sick? I was sick watching it. I was like, oh, if I didn't have to watch this part, I would not. But what kept tickling me is I kept hearing that little saying y'all been saying about TD Jakes, swallow. That's the only thing that kept tickling me. That's
Oh my goodness,
That's the only
Lord.
thing. I kept watching it. I could laugh. I just kept hearing and singing that little emoji. Swallow. That's what y'all should have. Y'all should leave TD Jakes alone and put that
Okay,
Robin. Put a Robin emoji up there.
okay. That he will never live that down, ever live that down. And I'm sure he regrets the day that he made that statement and the manner in which he made that statement. Okay,
Wish TD would have never said that. What is wrong with him? Sometimes he be
child.
trying to get a joke and that joke come right back to bite you in the behind.
Okay,
And that's what it did. So Michelle said, "Oh no, I hope Aaron feel better." Yes, we're praying. Aaron, I was telling them, Aaron is not going to be here. Her brother Mark texted me and said she's not feeling well. Um,
okay, okay.
Mamir says, Sebastian says, I remember learning that it is very nutritious. They're talking about the semen, high in protein and great for the skin. But maybe that is a lie made up by a man.
I believe so. I don't know if there's any scientific evidence to prove that there's any positive impact on the body in any way, shape, or form with the consumption of semen. But I mean, if anyone wants to research it, be my guest, okay?
Oh, Mamir, this comment just almost took me out, Mamir. Mamia said, that's something made up by a man. Can you just see
Okay,
that on an article a man's writing? Okay, how can we get women to do this? Okay, we gonna say it's good for their skin because they like their skin. We gonna say
exactly.
it's
Okay,
high in
they don't
protein.
call it vitamin D for nothing, okay? Child. Okay. That was said by a man. Yes, a man with a D, a man. Okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God, Jonathan. Jonathan went to the vitamin D. Oh my God. Mamia's laughing. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Oh my goodness. Michelle is laughing too. Hey, Juanita Believe, how you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Listen, we are not always like this. We this is just that one scene in this show, and that show that got us there. I just could not. Dustin said, "I love your shirt, Jonathan."
Thank you, Dustin. Thank you so much. I need to buy me some more of these button-up shirts because apparently they have a different look on me on the camera, and I like the way that it looks. So yes, thank you so much for the compliment. I appreciate it.
Lady Virgo says, "Speedy recovery to Aaron." That's right,
Yes,
Brandon, better. And Amir said, "I knew it was a lie. I knew it was a lie." Some man done made that up. Lady
of
Virgo said,
course.
and Juan the roommate. Have you and Juan has Juan the roommate ever been swallowed? Y'all are funny with this. Michelle is cracking up. Listen, Juanita Believe said no swallowing for cleaning the skin.
Okay.
I am
Okay.
not. I am not. I put a little aloe on my skin. I may eat a little, drink a little aloe, but I
Okay.
ain't going. I ain't going down low.
Uh,
I'll do aloe, but I ain't going down low.
okay. I use the Aveeno. Okay, that's
Amino.
my lotion of choice. Okay.
A V, no, and nothing. Listen, let's get back over here. I wanted to say this real quick. The commercial that Andy are running, that Andy is running, I love it. Andy is a brilliant guy, you guys. He's got these people that are when you run commercials for the reunion. If you guys saw it, the Wendy's commercial. Did you guys see that in where you are?
See, I watch it on Peacock, so I actually don't get commercials. What was the Wendy's commercial about?
Okay, so the Wendy's commercial it was Lisa Barlow from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Hmm.
She's sitting in the chair and she's like a counselor. And on the sofa is Giselle and Karen. And
Wow.
right on the table in front of them is this Wendy's food, the fries, the hamburger, the Wendy's drink. And so the ladies, Giselle and Karen, want to eat the food. But before they eat the food, Lisa Barlow is like the psychiatrist. He's like, you got to say something nice about the other person first. And so they're having to say something nice about each other. And then at the end, they're like, okay, after they said, Lisa Barlow's like, see, that was easy. And the ladies are like, I just wanted the food. I don't care.
Okay, I don't care about that hoe.
But I love how Andy is so brilliant to do these commercials. Hey, Curves. Thank you.
Okay.
You're beautiful. How you doing, girl? So Lady Virgo said, I don't give a darn how healthy it is. I'll just stay unhealthy if that's the case. Okay. Mhm,
Okay.
mhm. Just I'm not gonna do that either. So how you doing, Curves? Thank you for being here, beautiful. And listen, Lady Virgo said, yes, she saw the commercial. Okay, and also Juanita says she saw the commercial too. Okay, did y'all like the commercial? Let me know in the comments if y'all like the commercial. All right, so let's get back over here. Juan said he's not showing up. That's what we started stopped off before he left. What do you think about Juan not coming to the reunion? I mean, he's not coming
It
to the
it
reunion.
doesn't surprise me. I believe Juan, if I'm not mistaken, because I think I've seen all the reunions. I think Juan has only showed up to either one or two reunions in the last 8 or 9 seasons that the show has
Mhm.
had. So it doesn't surprise me. I think that they need to put in the contracts that the husbands must be appearing on the reunions
If you
and
appear
make
on the
it
show.
so that,
Mhm.
you don't get your check at the end of the season unless your man is sitting behind you on this couch, okay? That's what they
Mhm.
need to do if they really want him to show up. Because if it's mandatory, oh, Wanda's not gonna miss that Robin check, okay?
Right. And I think they should do that too. Thank you, Juanita. She said she loved the commercial. I love it. That commercial was cute. I think they should do this. And Andy is a smart guy, and he may be thinking changing some things in the contracts
Hmm.
because these men, they are on the show to help their wives. Of course, they said before they don't get paid, but they're appearing. Now, if you don't want, if you, I think the contract should read, if you don't appear on the episode, then you don't have to show up at the reunion. But if you appear on any episode, whether it be
Right.
one or none, one or two, you must show up at the reunion. Come on, y'all. Apollo showed up to the reunion at Real Housewives of Atlanta, and he wasn't even on the show.
Okay, Married to Medicine, and he was sitting behind Phaedra, didn't have
Right.
not
Thank
one
you.
scene, didn't show
Married to
his
Medicine.
beautiful face on the show not one time.
His name was on there, but he came on over there. He came on through. He showed up.
Okay.
Juan, you just playing coward. That's what I think, allegedly. You don't want to show up.
Exactly. You said, say it again, Regina. Coward.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm. You don't wanna support Robin again. You leaving her out there by herself to fight again by herself. And it's not fair.
But you know what I think Juan might have been trying to avoid? I think if Juan had showed up, there would be a special segment with just Juan and Robin sitting down with Andy for a 2-on-1 little bit of an interview to get to the bottom of what their marital issues are. And I'm pretty sure if Juan had showed up, that's exactly what would have happened.
But you know what? Robin offered that. She says, "Why don't y'all have a 2-hour" let me see. She said, "Why don't y'all do a 2-hour special on Juan Dixon's life?"
You know, Robin said that because Juan would never agree to that thing. Juan would never agree to that.
I don't know. I kind of think she was putting it out there like, okay, y'all want to do something. We need to get some more money. Y'all want to hear about Juan? Pay me. Pay me to hear about Juan. Let's do a special and have Juan to be the only one on there. That way he can only tell us what he want to tell us. And then we got to fact check everything that he said. So I
And
think that
what would be the point of us hearing Juan on an interview when we know all he's going to do is do just what he does to Robin every day and lie through his teeth? Lie. We will hear
I think
no
so.
truth
Yeah.
from Juan. He would just lie the entire time.
Yeah. Well, she's talking about it would be very intriguing. That's the word Robin used. The show would be very intriguing. I don't know. He may get away with one episode. I mean, but I don't even know if the first hour will be good. But anyway, what do you think about Juan say he deletes the DMs? And Robin, she's okay with him deleting his DM. Talking about because his
And
phone gets
and
gets
and and also the fact that she said that she doesn't have any of his passwords. Like,
oh
I
yeah.
don't think that it's mandatory that people in relationships should share each other's passwords, but for the fact that she willingly gave up that information, tells me that there's an issue, might be an issue of trust between Juan and Robin. But Juan deleting his text messages and DMs says that he has obviously has something to hide from
Yeah,
your wife. And so that just speaks for itself, to be honest.
I think and she used the excuse that he said his phone gets backed up, it's too clogged up, and and so it takes up too much storage space. I thought last time I checked, when you on Instagram and you on TikTok and you on X, all these DMs is not part of your storage space on your phone, but it's part of the storage space on their services. How is it taking up space on your phone?
Right. Now, it'll take up space if you download the app of Instagram. Yes, that will take up space, but the actual DMs in said Instagram, they don't take up no space at all. At all.
Why?
If that were the case, then celebrities would have to have multiple gigs
Goodness.
on all of their devices because of all the DMs and
Right.
all of the replies that they will be receiving on a daily or hourly even basis. So,
See, Robin, she falling for that old okey doke again. That old okey doke. Let me get in these comments and see what y'all saying real quick in these comments. Go into the next segment. Juanita said Juan is pulling a Michael Darby by not showing up. Mm.
well,
Lady
Michael
Virgo,
Darby has appeared more often than Juan on this show.
yes.
That's just a fact, okay? And he's not scared to
Oh, not.
address the issues. The the things that Michael has been accused of is far worse than what
Yes,
Juan has been accused of. So Michael Darby is so much more of an upstanding man than Juan is, obviously.
he is. Let me tell you. Lady Virgo said, "Can someone go over there and check on Karen's inflated lips, please, girl?"
Now, Karen did admit to a little bit of a little bit of
Little
a
bit,
facelift. You know
a
what
little
I'm
bit,
saying? And I
a
think,
little bit,
I think,
Jonathan. A little bit. Mm-mm.
I think the fact that that Giselle brought it up during the season, there wasn't a way that Andy was not going to bring that up to Karen, and I'm so glad that Karen did not deny it. I'm so glad, but I think it's the fact that she really can't deny it because it's
Yeah.
sort of kind of obvious. Yeah.
Well, she can't because all we got to do is roll back season one.
Yes,
So
exactly.
once you start airing and start filming, you're gonna have to tell the truth because we would just roll back the tapes.
It's
And
all over your face, honey. It's all over your face. All
and
over.
I'm glad that she is admitting to doing that. I'm glad she did admit to that. Michelle said it should be a requirement for them to show up to the reunion. She
They
agrees with us.
should.
And
Heck,
Lady
even Gordon showed up to the reunion. Okay, and look at all the mess he's going through with Mia. Come on now.
Gordon showed up to the reunion with Mia, FaceTiming Ink.
And Mia telling this man that she loves him in front of Gordon. What?
I love you. I love you. Love you.
What?
And Gordon right back
What?
here.
Regina, when I tell you that shocked me,
Shocked
like
me too.
to no end, Regina, like she's sitting there, like, first of all, Mia said, oh, hey, Gordon is here, say hi to Gordon. Like, we all a happy throuple family. Like, what is going on here?
After that explosive finale. That's why we're all shocked. But some time has passed in between, and Gordon and Mia are, working things out and they're being good. But the other part is they're not even divorced yet.
No.
And Gordon is accepting of all of this.
Did, did,
I'm
did,
just
did you
wondering.
did you catch Mia's shade to Ashley? Oh, I'll be divorced before Ashley gets divorced. Okay. Okay, yes. Two points for that, Mia. Okay, you got Ashley on that one. But I also want to say Ashley's hair looked gorgeous on that
Yes,
reunion.
I did.
Ashley's hair is everything. Like it might be a little bit drag, but it's everything to me. I love it. I love
Listen,
it.
I love it. I love it how they got Ashley sitting in the corner again.
Uh,
She's
but
sitting
you
in the
know
corner.
what? Ashley doesn't care about being on the end of the couch as long as she's on the couch, period, point blank. As long as she's in the building. That's all that matters to her.
And she is on the couch. She is. She on the couch. She on one end, and Nneka is on the other end. And listen, I'm not mad at it. Hey, Latoya, thank you for
Re-
being here, Latoya.
Regina, speaking of NECA, did you find it interesting
Thank
that
you,
we
Michelle.
only heard like two words out of NECA this entire first part? Like she was real quiet during this first part of the reunion. Did that surprise you?
No, because this is her first time, right? So she
Yeah.
hasn't learned to really butt in and jump in and say, have her voice to be heard. So I'm okay with her. She's sitting there and observing. Remember, she's the lawyer. So lawyers are taught listen so you can hear a lot. And I think that's part of why NECA does that. She sits back, she listens before she responds. So
And
that
and
way, when she responds, it's a good response.
and I found that I was able to like NECA more because I didn't hear her voice.
Shady. I want to say something that NECA did. Jonathan, you're a mess. NECA did have something to say because remember the part where Candace was accusing Giselle of saying that her husband SA'd her, and Giselle was like, "No, that's not what I said. I said that he told me to come inside the room with him or something like that." And Candace kept saying, "No, but you were alluding or alleging that he SA'd you." And Wendy, they asked Wendy. No, Andy asked Wendy. Well, Wendy, what do
Hmm.
you think about that? And before Wendy could say anything, Giselle said, "Well, NECA is the attorney. Why not ask her?"
Right. But I do want to address that question. For someone to say
Yeah.
that a man made me
That's
feel uncomfortable, does that not read SA to you? Because it definitely does to me. Because,
well,
it causes the mind to wonder, what do you mean by it made you feel uncomfortable? Because feeling uncomfortable means something bad. And when
I'm
you
gonna have
mean
to,
something bad, that
yeah.
typically leads to SA.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna have to disagree because I know the strong meaning of SA as in physical touch.
Right.
As in physical touch. So I think that's where a lot of people are missing this when they are alluding to people being SA'd. They are taking out the part where there is an actual physical unwanted touch with
Okay.
the person. So Giselle is letting her know, no, he made me feel uncomfortable. Now, a person can come in the room right now and look at me strange, and I'll be like, you making me feel uncomfortable. Get out of here. It's a whole different thing. And a man could come in here and make me feel uncomfortable by just looking at me. It does not mean that he SA'd me. It does not
Right.
mean that. Mhm.
However, when Giselle adds the words sneaky link to her
That's probably where
to
she
her
went wrong.
allegations, that makes it seem as though it's of a sexual nature.
Right. And that's probably where it went wrong. And Giselle did apologize and re
She did.
apologize again for that. But here's the thing that these ladies have to understand: the words that you put out will cause your followers and your subscribers and your people to come after that individual on the social media platform. And that's what Giselle and Candace were both saying. Giselle was saying she's getting death threats because of stuff that Candace said. Candace was like, I got people, saying things about me also. But I think they have to understand that they're words. And I think that's part of why Andy made that opening statement about making sure that we take ownership of our actions. What you say. Now, I'm going to go to this part real quick where Candace said, Giselle was saying that people were coming after her. And Candace was like, how did I have any direct connection? How did what I said have any direct connection to people coming after you? Well, we don't know what these crazy followers will do, So your words, you
Right.
have to be careful.
But
Candace, you caused that.
think about the hundreds or thousands of things that Giselle has done besides what
Absolutely.
she did to Candace last season that would make people want to threaten her in her DMs. Candace is not the reason why Giselle is getting death threats. And I thought it was really irresponsible for
Mhm.
Giselle to place all of that blame. She placed all of that blame on Candace. And I thought that was extremely unfair and unprofessional. I did not like that at all. And I don't
I'm
agree
gonna
with
say they're both wrong, but I'm gonna say Candace was an even stronger wrong. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think, and then we're gonna come and get to these comments. The reason why I'm saying Candace was a stronger wrong is because the SA accusation came out. And when people start hearing that, they start coming at the individual in a different direction. Now, Giselle absolutely was wrong. Giselle has to take accountability for her, I guess you could say, bringing Candace to that point
you. Right.
because her words inflicted and that hurt to Candace to bring Candace to retaliate. Now I'm gonna give this to Candace. One thing about Candace, I'm gonna say this openly. She don't react until you act.
Exactly.
So if she's reacting to you, and now her reactions can cut you deep to the white meat, but she normally will not react until you act. So if she came at her that way, it's because of what Giselle did. And now Giselle may say, well, what I did wasn't that bad, but it's not how you take it, deliver it, it's how it is received. And if that's the way
Exactly.
Candace received it, that's the way she received it. So that's why, ladies, even those that are watching the channel here, you're out there at work, you're out there with family members, having conversation with strangers, be careful with your words. Because you could say, well, I didn't mean it to be bad. It didn't sound bad. I asked my friend, it didn't sound bad. Your friend wasn't the one that was receiving it. It was the other person. So we got
What
to
I
be
want
careful.
what I want to
Mhm.
say is if it were not for Giselle's actions, she would not be
Right.
receiving death threats. It is not Candace's fault that Giselle is receiving death threats. It's because of what you do that is garnering the death threats in your DMs, Giselle. You need to look in the mirror and blame the person who deserves the majority of the blame because Candace would not have said what she said had Giselle not made the actions that she did towards her on the last season. So at the very end of the day, it is Giselle's fault.
And Andy said this. Andy pointed to Candace because he said, Candace, he says, you're adding to this basically because you are liking some of the negative comments in
But
social media.
does that surprise you that Candace is liking these terrible
It
comments that
doesn't, but
Giselle is receiving?
we have to hold her accountable for her actions. And that's why Andy pointed it out. Andy is he's very knowledgeable. He's like, Candace, you are in the social media DMs. If you see a comment you like it, you don't got to put the little heart on it. You ain't got to do that, Candace. How would Andy even know you liked it if you did not put the little heart on it?
I think Candace does that so that Giselle will be able to see it just to stick the knife in a little bit more.
But
Candace
your
knows what she's
boss,
doing. And you know
your
what, Regina? This may not be a
Mhm.
popular opinion, but I don't blame Candace for doing what she's doing because if I were in her position, I would at least think about doing things along those same lines. But I cannot, if someone had attacked my marriage in the way that Giselle attacked Candace's marriage, I would be just as upset as Candace is. Yes, I will
I
be able
would
to take
have to hold
accountability
them.
for my actions, but I will be just as upset. I'm completely on Candace's side on this issue, and that could be because
Let
and
me know
because
it's wrong.
I didn't even like Candace before I started watching the show, but
Uh-huh.
Giselle literally her actions made me want to like Candace, and that says something.
I'm gonna say this now. The reason I wanted to bring that up, that Andy pointed out that that Candace is liking these comments, is because if Andy is seeing them and he's bringing them up to you, he's bringing it up to Candace for a reason. And remember, we spoke about this some time ago on previous videos where Andy was telling Candace about her social media conversations and posts, and
Right.
he was telling her you need to tone it down. This is your boss telling you to tone it down. Now you've got your boss fast forward to the reunion telling you you're on here liking these negative comments, you're adding to the mess. Your boss is telling you again. So now fast forward to today, because the reunion was taped months ago. Candace is not on the show. She says she elected to leave. I think maybe there was some part of Andy that was like, listen, I'm gonna have to put you on pause, but I'm gonna give you the option to pause yourself, allegedly, or I can pause you. Because I think maybe there was too much of going on where Andy is probably like, listen, we don't have this conversation over and over again. And I'm not negating Giselle. Giselle has her wrong in this too. And y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think, because I'm gonna come to this right after I finish this statement. I'm gonna come to the comments. Giselle has her wrong in it too, because Giselle thinks that she can hide behind that paywall on Patreon and say what she wants. And
Okay.
Giselle, you can't do that because that's still wrong, regardless of who's paying for it and who's not paying for it. You are saying things that even Candace said you go behind that Patreon wall and try to hide. Don't think that that Patreon wall is a Fort Knox. People can come right out and go on that Patreon wall, see what you said, hear what you said, and share it with others. So you can't be hiding, hiding your hands and throwing rocks too, throwing rocks and hiding your hands. You can't do that, Giselle. You do
Right.
have your priority. So I'm totally in agreement with you on that that, Jonathan. As far as me, if somebody says something about my husband in a comment on social media, I just probably block them and the one that liked it. That's what I would do. I ain't got nothing to do with none of y'all. I
That's
don't have to
understandable.
respond because
But
listen, I have.
you have to
Mhm.
remember who Candace is. Candace is the queen of petty in some
Oh,
ways. And so therefore you can't expect her to not act like herself. You know,
mm,
when you're pushed to a certain extent and they love to push Candace to a certain extent, then you get the results that you get. And it's no one's fault but your own, because just as you said it, Regina, Candace don't bite unless you bark at her.
that's right. And I got to give her that. I have got to give her that. And I'm a woman of truth. So
Mhm.
I am not going to take that away from her. So once they get cut, they get cut. But it's usually when they come for her first. But let's get in these comments and see what y'all thinking about this segment that we're talking about real quick. So Anita said, when you are married, you should be able to share passwords. Michelle said, I wouldn't trust Juan as far as I can see him if I was Robin. And Curve said, liars have the most excuses.
True that.
Michelle said, Lady Virgo said, Michelle, yes, agreed. It should be a requirement in their contract. And Michelle said, that's a weak excuse. Juan, what else you got? And also, Michelle said, Juanita believed that's true. And Lady Virgo said, a little bit more, Jonathan. That's the whole darn bottle, gallon, okay? I forget what part that was in. And Juanita said that was very disrespectful of Mia. Yeah. Curve said that was a facade. In my opinion, that's far to make the man who as a producer, it's a good man. Michael is Gulliman. He is a literal. Juan showed the few years at Michael. They what is it? Rose Grabber. If I'm saying that wrong, Curve, I am so sorry. I'll apologize. Curve said Ashley led NECA to the end of the couch with the end of the couch.
Okay.
And Lady Virgo said, how are you doing? She's saying hello to her. Sebastian said, I love NECA. Don't do her like that. He said, I love NECA. Don't do her like that. And Curves is saying hello back to others. And Sebastian said this, no, uncomfortable does not mean SA. I understand. Thank you. Thank you. And he's saying the
Understandable.
same thing. And Curve say, his Giselle totally
Jizzy.
implied that yeah, totally implied that Chris was an absolute S-air. The implication is as bad because she never cleared it up without adding terms like sneaky link, etc. And that's exactly what Jonathan was saying. Yes.
Exactly.
Sebastian said Giselle did apologize for sneaky link comment. She did. She apologized twice, actually, from what I saw. Lady Virgo said Mia has no shame, no respect for her husband, father of her children. Remember, technically, they're still married, no respect at all. Sebastian said, that's so true, Juice. Giselle is getting threats on her kids, too. Candace gets hate, too. Yes. They both are getting hate. Both are, all because of these comments that they say.
Right. They bring it on themselves. They do.
Right, right. They are. Hi, beautiful. Hey Bianca, how you
Hey,
doing?
Bianca.
Hey girl, hey. Okay, so Michelle said they both need to take accountability. Yes, and you sound just like Andy. Andy is like, listen, both of y'all ownership. Ownership. You have to be able to
And do
say
you
what
think,
you did.
Regina, that both of them took accountability during this reunion?
No.
Me
Mm-mm.
either.
Now, I'm gonna tell you this. Let me side with and then I'm gonna get back to these comments. Let me side with Jonathan. We're gonna have to change your show to 7:30.
I'm gonna have to do what?
Change your show to 7:30. We're gonna switch with Dustin again.
Well, you put 7:30 in the chat, so I assumed that we were going to start at 7:30 for 90 Day Fiance anyway. So,
Yes, we are. I'm saying your show, the reality. This one, we need more
oh
time.
yes, yes, yes,
This
yes.
one too. So Curves, let me say this real quick. Let me go back to the comments and then we'll get into that. Curves said this is ridiculous to blame Candace's words. The implication has a dangerous. Giselle started it, therefore Giselle is the only one to blame. You cannot blame my reaction to your abuse. And
Thank
that's
you.
exactly what we were saying. Mhm.
That is a word right there.
Yes, she's got to be careful about that, trying to make these implications, right? And Curve said, I would agree with him. Absolutely. Thank you for that. I think she said she agreed with you, Jonathan. Bianca is saying hello to everybody there. Michelle said, Gizzard Neck had amnesia all of a sudden on the subject. Y'all stop.
But you know what, Regina? Accountability for me for Giselle would be, I brought this onto myself. That's accountability for Giselle, at least in my opinion, and not
And
blaming Candace for it solely.
even if Giselle says she felt uncomfortable,
Right,
you should have that whole the finish this whole thing. She could have just went straight to Candace when that happened, not wait until cameras were rolling. Pull Candace aside and say, "Listen, your husband just asked me to go into a room. I didn't feel comfortable with it, and I just wanted you to know." Have that conversation with the other woman. Don't wait, like they said, months and months. Now, when we start airing, you want to bring this on air, Giselle? That was messy. It was. This
right.
is supposed to be your friend. Y'all supposed to have phone numbers that y'all can exchange. You don't wait for a camera moment to bring up something like that. So, and this man, and I do have to say that, Chris, could have lost job opportunities and stuff like that. His
He said he
reputation,
did lose job opportunities because of it.
right. So she has her part in it. Yeah. And I'm telling you, once y'all hit Candace, y'all don't know what she's going to bring to hit y'all back. Even though I may disagree with some of the stuff she used, I can't say that she was really wrong because you can't say what her reaction is going to be.
And
You
and
can't.
Regina, think back on all of every single one of the things that Karen has said about Giselle in the last couple of seasons. Has Giselle ever blamed Karen for any of the hate that she's received? I don't think that she has, but I
No,
think
because
Giselle just literally does not like Candace, period, point blank. And I don't know why, but she clearly has
well,
made
it's
that
because of this
decision.
whole situation with these two and some other stuff. But Mamir said when Andy said that producers confirmed, Giselle said Chris made her face was priceless. And that's the thing. When y'all sitting in these confessionals and you saying this stuff, the
The
words that you use. Giselle's a grown woman. You knew which words to use, Giselle.
the actual word she used was forced. She used the word forced her into
I think he said made on the clip that they're showing.
made. Okay, I thought I heard the word forced. Maybe that's just in my mind. I don't know.
So Sebastian said, I'm shocked they look at their social media accounts. Oh, they're gonna look at them. Oh, yeah, they're gonna look at them. That's your boss. Y'all go to work right now. I bet y'all some of these companies looking at y'all social media accounts. Be
Okay,
careful. Curse say I can like what I want, so can Candace. Is there no liking clause? When has any housewife been in trouble for liking posts? The line is always moving for Candy Girl. Ciao. She also says she didn't deserve a pause. Jesse deserves to be fired, but the line is always moving for what Candace does to make her culpable for the abuse from others' characters. Now, Candace is not without, her fault. She
mhm,
does take things to the extreme, and I think that's where production, as a company, could be looking at themselves as being liable because of the altercations that are being caused with the fight with Monique that happened. That's a big liability for a company. Lawsuits and everything can come out. Cast members can say they weren't feeling protected. Even the person who attacked could say they didn't feel like they were being protected. And then now you have the other fight that happened when they were at Ashley's event.
right,
So this is the second time where there has been physical when it came to Ashley, even though the second time Ashley was not, I mean, not Ashley, Candace was not actually in the physical altercation, but they're
right.
saying, she had something to do with it, the cause of it. So maybe that's why there's this whole pause. Juanita said Giselle should be on pause also. Thank you, Bianca, for the thumbs up. Y'all thumbs up. Sebastian said Karen hasn't gone that low. She hasn't.
She
And
hasn't. That's
Sebastian,
true. That's very true.
she said she made. Yes, said she made. And Bianca said that fight with Deborah was not Candace's fault, though. Well, it was. It was. In my view, I see that it was her fault because of the communication between her and Wendy talking loud enough for Deborah to hear it. That's the only reason. And again, Candace can say whatever she wants, but she don't know the actions that the person she's talking about is going to take. And so Deborah took it there. So Candace had a part in that whole altercation taking place because of what she said. And again, like we said at the top of this, you cannot determine what the other person is going to do. So Candace, you were at fault. You were at fault for that thing. I'm sorry, Jonathan. Go ahead and I'm gonna let you comment because we got 15 minutes, 10 minutes to talk
If
about.
if Deborah were not there, that altercation would not have happened. Deborah was ready to fight. She came there for an altercation. I think that would have happened whether Wendy and Candace had been talking about her in the corner, whether they have been saying those things about her or not. Deborah came there for an altercation. Deborah came there with an agenda.
So you
So
think even
that would
if
have
Candace
happened
would not have
regardless.
said, so you think even if Candace would not have said anything, that Deborah would have tried to fight? That's what you're saying.
She definitely would have tried to confront her at least
Okay.
confront her at the
Okay.
least. And I'm sure that confrontation would have led to something more serious, regardless.
But you know what? If that would have been the case, and if Deborah would have went over and had an altercation with Candace, and Candace and Wendy had not said anything, then Deborah would have been totally 100%. Right now, she's not 100% because of the conversation that Ashley had that Candace had with Wendy. But because of that, she's not 100%. Deborah should have maybe stayed home, or Candace and Wendy should have said nothing. And then if the girl would have came over and Candace and Wendy said nothing, then it would have been like, I didn't even say nothing to her. I didn't say nothing. I didn't start with her. I do not have nothing to do with this. And Candace would have been more in the clear, in my
Right.
opinion. In my opinion. Curve
And
said Candace is on a show where their contracts are to talk and have shady moments. Candace is totally within her contract, whatever. Whenever she's using those words that people have problems with. Sebastian said yes, Jews. And you guys, we don't have to come back for what you call this other one. I'm gonna do 5 minutes. We have to do 5 minutes on my other show. Bianca said Deborah started with her. Candace called her Cookie Monster for the lie. Deborah went online and joked about being called Cookie Monster. Now you want to fight, and that's another thing. How grown are we talking about people like this? Crazy. Curve said because you use words to describe eyebrows. Who lied on her husband and tried to cause her family damage? She can always whatever she wants about eyebrows and lie. And oh my goodness, I can't. Bianca
well, I
said thank
mean,
you, Jonathan. She said thank you, Jonathan. She agrees with you. All right, let's talk real quick about our other one, Martha's
Summer
Vineyard,
House.
Jonathan. And I'm sorry, I have Summer House. I have just totally taken a whole hour talking about these women over here. But they are agreeing with you in the comments, Jonathan. Bianca agrees with you. And Juanita agrees with you also. She also said that Deborah came ready to fight. She had it in her hair in a ponytail and ready to dress for it. Okay. Whew, there we go. Okay. 5 minutes real quick. We're going to talk about Summer House, you guys. I have got to move Jonathan to get more time to talk about these shows. Summer House. Only one I want to talk about is Preston. Preston is the one who father passed away, correct?
Hmm.
I love his conversation. I love Preston talking about his life and his family and all that. Love him. Jonathan, real quick, I'm going to let you go ahead and talk for these 5 minutes on this show. But the only one I accept is Preston. And I want to get to know more about Preston and his family denying him and not wanting to be a part of his life because of his gay lifestyle. That's a whole topic I want to touch on. Jonathan, tell us your thoughts on Martha's Vineyard.
I have to say this show is so refreshing for me. I love this show. I really, really do. And I think it's because I see myself in a lot of these people. But the main thing that I wanted to address was Summer's issues with Alex. And the fact that in the first episode, she brought up the fact that her and Alex had actually got it in. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Summer, you're coming off as a scorned woman. You're coming off
Mm-hmm.
as someone who has issues. The fact that she brought up the L word, the love word with Alex on that boat, girl, y'all just smashed. That was it. That was the beginning and end of your said relationship. And you're bringing up the L word, and then in the confessional, she's going to say
Try to
that there's
downplay it.
no attachment to him. But girl, you just said that there's some type of love between you and Alex because y'all got it in. Like, girl, you sound like you're scorned. And you're putting a little bit, you're putting 20 on 10 with this, Summer. And I really love Summer. She's one of my favorite girls on the show. I love Summer. I love Jordan. Jordan's one of my favorites. I love the, I don't know why I'm saying I love, but I love the fact that Summer, Jordan, Preston, and one of the other girls, I think it was Shanice, they all went to Jamaica without Jasmine. And the reason why is because Jasmine is a married woman. Jasmine is not the fun girl that she used to be when they were working back at the Playboy, party thing, whatever the case might be in New York. But who wants to be around a married woman? When you're married, You act like you're married. You're not going on singles trips out in Jamaica with these single people. And where's Silas going to be? Because we definitely ain't inviting Silas to no Jamaica. I know I'm not inviting no Silas to no Jamaica, not to enjoy my vacation, on the beautiful beaches of Jamaica. Heck no. Okay, so um,
I love, listen, I'm gonna say this from a married woman's point of view. I have been invited to hang out with single people and I've hung out and I've had fun. It's because of your personality. If you are one way with your husband and a whole different way with your friends, then your friends probably ain't gonna really want to be with you because you got to be balanced. You got to be yourself. So I am
and that's
myself, and
and
Jasmine changed, and that's why they have a problem with it.
And that's why Jordan was telling Jasmine, you weren't being yourself. You've
Right. You
changed,
are
girl. You are not the same Jasmine that I knew back at the Playboy Club, girl. You're not the same girl. So why would I want to treat our relationship as if it hasn't changed? And so I think Jasmine really has to get to the point to where she has to decide who she's going to be because she can't do
right.
this switch up thing because people are not going to want to be around you if you're constantly switching up. And I also want to talk about Nick really, really quickly.
Yeah,
The fact
please.
that Nick doesn't understand that he's handsy with these girls, and the fact that
Nick,
the other men had to tell him what
tell
he
him.
does. I understand maybe he was drunk, so he doesn't necessarily remember, but this is kind of a pattern because he kind of showed those same type of actions in the first season
Mhm.
towards some of the girls as well, acting as if he's not in a relationship. The way that he had his hands all hugged up on Summer and Jordan trying to take those pictures. Like you act like you in
I'm
a
glad that the guys
relationship,
did
sis.
point that out, though. I'm really glad that he has friends that will point this out to him. I'm so glad. Preston was going to leave, and Alex and the other gentleman were like, no, stay. Let's talk about this. And the funny part is to me about this whole thing. We're going to wrap this up. The girls they have this beautiful house, and they got the boys in the bunk in the basement, all in one room together. That is hilarious to me. I do want to talk more, and we'll probably do this next week about the alopecia, Jordan, and having a conversation on television about the alopecia. This is what I love about these reality shows, the realness. And I also
Mhm.
next Jonathan, we'll start off with Martha's Vineyard because I also want to talk about them saying that who is it? Summer. What's her name? Summer is the not Summer. The other girl is the worst dressed.
Shanice.
Shanice is the worst
Mhm.
dressed, and she really started crying and went in the bathroom. I want to talk about that as well. You guys, we're gonna have to wrap this up. I'm so sorry. We went overtime with which one of this? Housewives of oh my
Housewives, yes.
God, again. These housewives. So we're with Housewives of Potomac, but we're gonna follow back up next week. We're gonna start off next week with Martha's Vineyard. And then we'll roll over into Housewives of Potomac, this reunion as it keeps going. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for all these comments. Appreciate all of you guys for being here. Now, remember, you guys, we're going to come right back on here we have 7:30 in the chat. Okay, Jonathan, you know what? I changed the time. Listen, John, I'm so busy. I'm just coming off of a weekend trip, so you can go ahead and talk. You got about 15 minutes. Go, Jonathan.
All right.
Oh
So
my God, I pushed Dustin back to I think 7. Let me check and make sure I push him back to 7:30. Go ahead, Jonathan.
I want to speak on Preston really quickly. The story that he gave us is a story that is very familiar with those of us in the LGBTQIA plus
Yes.
community. I'm so
Mhm.
blessed that I have two parents that fully support me, love me unconditionally, and have no issues with my sexuality. But
Yes. Mhm.
unfortunately, that's not the case for many of us in the
Mhm.
LGBTQIA plus community. So when Preston said his father told him, "I didn't raise you to be gay," and Preston said, "Well, you didn't raise me at all. So,
Woo.
what are you trying to get at?" So I understand why. Well, Preston said that he did not want to go to the funeral, but he also said that his father's family kind of disinvited both he and his sister from going to
Mhm.
the funeral. And so, if that's going to be the case, I won't say I will gladly not show up because, of course, I would still be hurt if I did not have a relationship with my father. He then
Yeah.
passed away. You only have one father. So I'm sure that still does hurt on the inside on some level. I'm sure he's still struggling with that. I also want to point out that Bree is not nearly as annoying as she was in the first episode. Now, she did have a little hissy fit with Preston at the table on the first episode,
That
so it
child
did
ain't
kind of come out. However, she's not as problematic as she was in the first season. She's not so me, 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 me. All the attention needs to be on me, and I appreciate that. And I was actually happy to see Milo back in the house. He's such a cute dog, and I love to see him kind of running around and being involved in what the people are and what they're doing. And I also wanted to say I was so disappointed that no one in the house knew who Arthur Ashe was. The cast dressed up
So disappointed.
as different characters on the second episode, and Nick dressed up as Arthur Ashe. For those who do not know, Arthur Ashe, I believe, was
Great
the
tennis
first
player.
African American man to win the U.S. Open in professional tennis. He unfortunately died of AIDS. God bless the dead. But he's such a monumental, legendary figure in the African American community, and it shocked me that no one knew who Arthur Ashe was. And to me, that is a shame because he's very, very integral in the African American community. And I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, listen, it tells you how young they are, though. That
Yeah,
lets
it
you know
does.
just how young they are um out there. So, I did like how they had the little party thing. Let me tell you, this little girl from Atlanta, she is cracking me up. She is
She
giving me a whole bunch of giggles. She is funny.
But Regina, for some reason, I feel like she's putting on an accent, like some type of Southern accent for the cameras that doesn't seem necessarily authentic to me. I think she's beautiful. She is an AKA. Shout out to all the AKAs. That's always been my favorite sorority. To me personally, I actually wanted one of my best friends to be an AKA, but her personality really doesn't jive with those girls. But she's extremely gorgeous, and the fact that Summer didn't tell this girl, I forgot what her name is, but didn't tell this girl that she had something going on with Alex. And, this is supposed to be your friend, Summer, and you're not telling her when she asks you if there's something going on between you and Alex, and you just leave out the fact that you guys, kind of got it in, but then you find it, you find an opening to say that out loud in front of everyone at the table. I found that to be a little bit interesting. But what did you think of Summer exposing her relationship with Alex at the table? Because I didn't hear what you thought about it.
She sound to me, she sounded like a scorn lover. She did. She
Hmm.
sounded like a scorn lover. And she was upset because the relationship to her was a relationship, whereas Alex was looking at it as just a comfortable thing for the moment. And I think ladies have to understand, when you are giving your body to a man, you need to determine before, what is this relationship, so that there is
Say,
a clear understanding. Now,
say, say,
Alex was like, "Mhm,
say that one more time, Regina, for the
yeah,
girls who don't know.
before you give yourself to this man, make sure, before you have that intimate part, make sure you ask and have that conversation. What is this relationship? Get details of it. What are we doing here? Before we do this, what are we doing?" Now, Alex said he was giving her creepy vibes, and I think he was just being a jerk. But he was saying, oh, she was giving creepy vibes by taking a picture and sending it to Jordan, or whoever was sending a picture. She was sending a picture to.
She was sending it to Jordan, but when you take a picture of someone and they're unaware of you taking the picture, and he was just standing outside near the bushes, and like that gave me creepy vibes. Like if someone took a picture of me without my knowing, and then they send it to somebody else, ooh, Joe Nathan's here. He's here to see me, girl.
You know why
That
it didn't
is
give me
creepy.
you know why it did not give me creepy vibes? Because she did not send it to somebody that he does not know. She sent it to somebody that he knows.
I
So that
agree with
to
that.
me was like, okay, now if she would have put it on, the social media and been like, "Ooh, look,
Yeah,
my man." Yeah, that's creepy. But that Jordan's a friend of hers, so she's probably, listen, look who I'm with. Jordan, Alex is here. But I do think that she's a little scorned. I do think that she was trying to make him look bad on television, and it backfired, because now
exactly.
she's looking like the bad person, and she thought the relationship allegedly was more than it was, and I think her feelings are hurt, and she got caught in his wine, and unfortunately, she's gonna have to deal with that. So that's on her. That is on her.
It is.
I love how, which one are dressed up as Nick? Was it Nick? Who dressed up as Nick
I'm not sure.
on the 70? Was it Nick? Hold on, I'm grabbing my paper here.
I
When they
know
had the
Preston dressed
70s
up like he
party,
was in the 1990s. You,
it
you,
was one of the guys dressed up. I think it was Amir dressed up as Nick. He said, "I'm Nick."
Can I address Amir really quickly?
Yes.
His relationship with his girlfriend sounds as if it is
Oh,
problematic.
something wrong.
Um, it
Mhm.
sounds like this woman is extremely controlling. And I don't think she has the right to be extremely controlling towards this fine man.
There's
Um,
issues.
if
There's
if if
issues.
if 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 Amir wants to do what he wants to do, that's his business. But for
Mhm.
him, and the fact that he didn't know who Lorena Bobbitt was, that's another thing that I had an issue with, sir. I mean, you're not that young, okay? You should know who Lorena Bobbitt is, okay? That happened in the
You better learn
90s.
about her. You better learn
Oh,
about her,
okay.
Amir. You better, because you sound like you might be on the verge of having one if you ain't careful. You better learn.
Oh, okay. And and this is no shade to my Caucasian friends and family. It did not surprise me at all that Amir is with a white woman. That just did not surprise me whatsoever. I mean, it's not a surprise. Will look slightly disappointing to me. I would have loved to see, a fellow, ethnic woman on his arm. She doesn't necessarily have to be
Oh,
black, but have a little bit of melanin in her skin. You know what I'm saying? But for
oh.
this white woman to have all of this control over this fine man, that just bothers me to no end, Regina. And I can't get with it. I really
But
can't.
wait,
And I
why
hope
did
you
he
don't show up
text
to
her?
this house because then it's going to be an issue.
Why did he text her that about the food or what? What was that text anyway? I'm with the girl. It did not make any sense why you were texting her that.
Yeah, it is just as she said, it seemed like
Weird.
that text was meant for someone else. I agree with his girlfriend on that. It did seem
I
like
do.
especially if it was just random, it seemed
Mhm.
like it was something that he meant to text to somebody else. So I don't know why he didn't just admit that if that was the case.
Well, since we got a few more minutes, let's talk about Shanice real quick again about her and the situation where they said that she was the worst dresser. First of all, Shanice, I don't even know why you took that as an insult because you barely ever have any clothes on anyway.
Okay. When she was on the trampoline, I almost thought she had her top off. I was like, "Is Shanice naked again?
She
What is
was
she doing?"
flashing. She did. She flashed again. She flashed herself. She took her shirt up again, showing her tatas. When she was in the kitchen, she flashed again, showing her tatas. It does not surprise me that she said, and y'all don't take this the wrong way, okay? In the comment, y'all don't take this the wrong way. It does not surprise me that her job let her go. I don't know if it let her go because of her behavior,
Mm-hmm.
but when you're on television, you still, even though it's a reality show,
Right.
you still got to answer to that employer. And
Exactly.
so I don't know what she was terminated for, but I did feel bad for her when she went and she started crying. She said, "I don't have money, um, to buy clothes and stuff like that because she got let go of her job." And she said something about they transferred her to another state and she had already obligated to do the show. So I think there was some sort of conflict there, and so they terminated her. What's your thoughts?
But but Regina, if you don't remember, I think the main reason why this affected Shanice so much is because it was her friend Summer who
Of
named her
course,
as the
yes.
worst dressed. And
Mhm.
because Summer came up with her name so quickly and said it
So
so
quickly.
confidently, she didn't expect to hear that coming from her friend's mouth. So I was a little annoyed with her reaction. However, when she went into her reasoning why she reacted that way, I was then able to understand why she had that reaction. When your friend says that about you, you're not going to take that well, even if it's in a joking manner, which I don't believe Summer was joking when she said that. I believe she was completely serious with
Yeah.
that answer. I
Mhm.
think that's the main reason why Shanice reacted the way that she did.
And I think she was absolutely hurt because her finances are low, and that her friend Summer said that, because she even said it went to the lady. She said, "You guys in your fake stuff that you wear, calling them out." So I think there is some insecurity there because her finances are not where the other ladies or other people's finances are. But
Right.
the new girl Noelle, she's really looking at Summer in a different light because she's like, you're my friend and you brought me in, and then now you talking about her like that, and she's your friend. So I'm like kind of side eyeing you. And I do have to say this: Noelle reminds me of Buffy from Married to Medicine with her accent. She reminds me of Buffy, but she's being very observant of
Yes.
Summer, and I think that Summer is being very, not a good friend, and she may have some insecurities. And like Shanice said, because Summer questioned her as to how you pull these guys, how you able to get all these guys and all this stuff, and how do you do that, and but Shanice has this confidence in her that she does that. One guy that we have not seen on this show is Jason. I don't think, is Jason coming back? I didn't hear if he's coming back or not.
Wasn't he only on like one or two episodes from the last season?
Hmm.
Isn't that the one
Hmm.
who kind of, riled things up and almost got in a fight? Yeah. We don't
Yeah.
need to see Jason again, even though I love me a tall man, you know what I'm saying? The taller the better. But if he's problematic and he doesn't fit in with the group, because this is actually the reason why I think we enjoy this show so much, Regina, is because these are actually friends.
Yes,
They
they are.
actually talk to each other outside of the show. And
Mhm.
they actually go out on trips outside of the show with no cameras on. So I think that's why this show connects so much, because we can see the genuine friendships amongst these people.
Let's do this. Let's talk real quick about Nick again and the girls dancing. When the girls decided they were going to dance and twerk all over the place, and Nick is watching, and Amir said, "Well, hey, I'm getting out of here," and he left, and he was like, he didn't feel comfortable staying there because his girlfriend wouldn't like it, and he told basically was telling Nick, hey, you shouldn't have stayed there. What do you think about that? If the girls are twerking and dancing, their old friends are at this house having a good time. Do you think Nick should have turned away or left?
If Nick were to consider his girlfriend, then yes. But I think we're at the point where we realize that Nick does not consider his girlfriend in
Ooh.
any of his decisions. And so, therefore, it did not surprise me that he was looking here, looking there, touching a little bit here, because I did see him use his hands here and there while there was some twerking going on. So, to answer your question, do I think he should have? Yes, he should have removed himself from the situation, but Nick is who he is. He does not care, clearly does not care about his girlfriend, so he ain't gonna leave the room when there's a bunch of twerking going on.
So the only one that should stay is Alex and Preston. Preston ain't impressed. So
Okay. Okay, Preston can probably do it better than them girls.
so Alex is the only one that probably should stay there and watch all this dancing and all this, stuff going on. Oh Lord.
Probably,
Lord
probably,
have mercy.
yes.
Lord have mercy. Well, you guys, this has been a fun chat. You guys, my apologies. I had so much going on. I didn't realize we had that extra 30 minutes on here. But you guys, we're going to be back next week. We're going to continue the conversation about Housewives of Potomac and also Summer House Martha's Vineyard. We invite y'all to join us in the chat to have this conversation as well. Y'all let us know if you're watching this on the replay. What's your thoughts on some of the topics that we covered today? Jonathan, we're going to have you go ahead and do our closing thoughts on here as we get ready to do our 90-day fiance. But what's your closing thoughts? You can do two. Let's talk about these Real Housewives of Potomac and also Summer House Martha's Vineyard.
Absolutely. I just want to give my condolences to Giselle for the loss of her father. But I also want to say that I am so happy that Robin is no longer going to be on this show.
She don't.
And I also want to say that I hope that Mecca does better in the following season, because I said this in a little bit earlier in the show. I was able to actually, be okay with NECA because I didn't hear so much from her. And so I feel as though when NECA is not involving herself in the issues, I can take her. When she's just a,
Okay.
innocent bystander, she's palatable. So that's what I have to say. Oh, and Karen, you are the grand dame. You always will be the grand dame. She was clearly running that whole first part of the reunion. Although she wasn't involved in every single conversation, she was actually running along with Andy that whole reunion to me.
Well, you know what, you guys, I'm loving this. And Jonathan, we didn't get a chance to talk about Candace Posters, but we're going to talk about Candace Posters next week. We're going to talk about all that. We're also going to talk about Giselle saying that Candace did not, with the tears part. I did not like that, Giselle. That was very messy, very, very messy. So I wanted to bring that up. So we're going to save those for next week, have those conversations and topics next week as well. Jonathan, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. Appreciate all of you for watching. We're going to be right back with our 90-day fiance chat. If you have not got that link, get that link on our YouTube page. We're getting ready to go over there, have that conversation with Dustin. He's going to join us at 7:30 p.m. We're going to be right back to talk about 90-day fiance. And remember, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe today. Don't be scared. Go ahead and do it now. Do it now. Subscribe today and join in on the fun. Thank you, Jonathan. We'll be right
Thank
back
you.
with 90 Day Fiance. See y'all later.
Bye, y'all.